And we're back. We're back for another round of podcasting. It is me, your host, Deadpool Speaks, and you're listening to Chimichanga Talk. Yes, that #1 podcast for being keto approved. For all those keto needs that you have out there. So, guys, it's been a long time since we've had an actual audio podcast. It's been a long time since we've had the ability to kind of reach out to your ears and kind of tickle the inside of your ear canal with the lovely sound of our voice. And we're doing this right after Pensacon 2019 happened in Pensacola, Florida. We had an absolutely wonderful time out in Poseidon's Bay. And believe it or not, this is one of the first years that we went there and we didn't get a chance I didn't get a chance to go and enjoy some of our friends, like meet and greets and stuff like that going around, usually what we do on Sundays. Due to the unfortunate weather and a lot of us had kind of getting sick and things like that, so we kind of left a little bit early, so we do apologize if anybody came out and see us after 1 o'clock. We were kind of gone on Sunday just because it was way too much. But before we kind of get into the nitty gritty of Pensacon 2019, I do want to let you know that you can always find us either on Facebook at facebook.com/Chimichanga Talk. If you like wrestling, we also have the Chimichanga Talk presents WrestleFest, which is kind of more geared towards our wrestling fans, more wrestling content there. Also, remember, on Instagram, we are under Chimichanga Talk. On Twitter, you can find me under Deadpool Speaks. Also, we do have a Twitch channel now, and also YouTube. Find us under Chimichanga Talk. You cannot go wrong. And we are currently building up our website yet again. So chimichangatalk.com. We'll be able to go ahead and produce a lot of great content through there and kind of piece that thing together as we go along. So going back to Pensacon 2019, I can truly say this. It was a really great event. Even though we didn't get to go inside the Pensacon Bay Center because we were outside in Poseidon's Bay all 3 days. And the first day, it was just like a fog alert out there. It was just really creepy. It was like kind of Silent Hill-esque out there. And but you know what? It was a great crowd. We had a lot of fun. We did karaoke-apocalypse out there, 80s and 90s edition and today's edition. It was a great crowd. We had a great time. We did some trivia to start things off with. Had a blast, and the crowd was great. That's the one thing I could say is that everybody said that the crowd was great. They said that the security was a little tight, but then they're just looking out for your safety. I know that a lot of people were complaining that it did take a long time to go ahead and get into the actual event. So there's that, but still, overall, from the experiences that I heard about, okay, because like I said, we stayed outside most of the time. The experiences that I heard about, it went really well for everybody. Everybody had a really good time. Everybody got to meet a lot of really cool people. The only thing, one thing that I was looking forward to, I know that Diamond Dallas Page was going to be there. Unfortunately, he had a bit of food poisoning and he had to cancel. So I know that I was kind of really looking forward to meeting him, but unfortunately didn't get a chance to. But these things happen, right? It's like everything else. Those cancellations or scheduling issues, things like that do happen. And I mean, celebrities are real people too. But overall, it was great seeing a lot of people out there. It was great meeting up with some of the old con family. And we call them that because it's like, when you travel from con to con, you kind of meet the same usual suspects going around. And it was like that, seeing a lot of friendly faces, a lot of people that we normally see at conventions, get to hang out with. We also did Shame of Thrones on Saturday night, and let me tell you something. Shame of Thrones went really well for kind of. It was a little bit unorganized at the very beginning, just because of the fact that. I brought all the cables I thought we needed to go ahead and kind of put everything together, but then they had one cable that they could not accommodate. So, it became kind of like a little hat trick trying to figure out, and so I had to go MacGyver on it. But overall, it kind of went really well. I was kind of shocked at how many people got in, because we were competing with 2 other game shows that were happening around us. Not only that, but we were competing also against the costume contest. So it was a really weird scheduling mix there. So, but we had a great crowd. We had a lot of fun. I know that our champions for these times for the Shame of Thrones They were like almost complete strangers, but yet they knew more about each other than most other people that had been in relationships for a while. It was actually funny to see. But overall, the Pensacon experience was absolutely amazing. I know that there was a lot of controversy coming up to Pensacon itself, specifically having to do with a voice actor. And I'm not going to go into all the politics of that because honestly, I don't understand. I don't understand. I understand one side. I don't understand the other, and I get it. I think it also kind of falls back to one of those things when someone's accused of doing something inappropriate. You kind of want to defend the fans are going to go ahead and kind of stand up for you. And I get it. Fans can be passionate, especially about those that they consider heroes and things like that nature. So it was a really weird circumstance. I mean, there was like backlash everywhere. Like we got a little piece of that on our YouTube channel, just because we were going to go ahead and promote Pensacon coming up. Like I said, we're kind of shifting gears a little bit. Pensacon's going to be our last con that we're going to do for a little while. Just because we want to go ahead and kind of build our game shows up, build our things up. We just want to bring you really great content, really good stuff. And actually, the whole reason I'm doing this podcast right now is to kind of get back into the swing of things. We definitely want to go ahead and do that. And I think that one of the important things is that we don't lose touch. Man. I'm still tired. I am still tired. A couple days later, I'm still tired from Pensacon. I don't want to lose touch with our audience. We had a great audience. We had some great guests on here, and I want to go ahead and build that back up again. I want to bring that back on another level, too. We have now started doing kind of live recordings and stuff like that, so maybe we can do a really good mix of both. Because what I like is I want to have that live element where you guys can go ahead and ask questions to a lot of our guests that come on the show. Some of these guests are really high-profile guests, things like that, that just kind of want to reach out and do some awesome kind of networking and things like that. They want you to experience some of their work, and we love to go ahead and touch base with them because some of the best people that we've had on our shows have been people who have been virtually unknown until they have a chance to go ahead and get that exposure for their work. So that's something that we want to do. So getting back to Pensacon 2019, like I said, fans can be extremely passionate, and that created a whole bunch of controversy, including a bomb threat that happened to the Pensacola Bay Center, and it just kind of raised a lot of eyebrows. So a lot of people were like, oh, we're going to go ahead and boycott Pensacon and do all this other stuff. And I mean, this stuff happens every year. Every year there's a massive amount of people that are just absolutely against Pensacon for one reason or another. And all I can say is that, the con was very successful. I didn't really see any protests, and I actually saw some people cosplaying as the character. Because one of the big controversies was the fact that one of the people who runs Pensacon, I'm not going to mention any names, but they said, hey, if you truly support this and support this in kind of like a poor taste, you will be asked to leave. The biggest reason why is face it, we're there in a sense of brotherhood. We're there as geeks and just to have a really good time and not to be judged or not to, start any kind of problems. And that's one of the big things. I think that's one of the big points that a lot of people miss is that the reason why these conventions are so great is because you're surrounded by people that, are into the same fandoms that you are, that absolutely appreciate everything that you do. There's like no really weird glances there because we're all kind of used to each other, right? We are amongst our people, and to go ahead and kind of see this, I guess it would be kind of like a separation in faction of all this stuff. It's just sad, And the thing is, I get it. I get why this person would say that. It's like if you're going to go ahead and go over there and just start trouble, why go? Right? Why ruin everybody else's experience because you have an opinion, a heavy opinion about, something that, you believe in, and you have every right to believe in it. And a lot of people were kind of throwing things around like, freedom of speech and things like that. And, it's understandable. But at the same time, this is a private event, something that a lot of people are going ahead and working really hard to put on for their fans, for things like that. And to have, these people kind of just show up and want to cause problems. And for somebody they really don't even know on a personal level, but enjoy as a fan. I mean, I get it. I understand about being passionate. I really do. And but there's a time and a place for everything. And actually, that's what one of the owners of Pensacon, or like one of the chair committee people, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to create a space. So they actually told them, hey, listen, if you want to come out here and protest, we'll go ahead and set up a space for you so you can do a peaceful protest and everything else. I mean, that's forward thinking. That's like saying, hey, you understand you have a voice. We don't want you to come into the convention and cause a stir or create an issue where, it could break into something more, right? I mean, the last thing that you want, and I don't know if, you guys personally have ever been part of this, but if you've ever gone to like a concert and then just somebody starts acting stupid and a fight breaks out, and you don't want your close friends, you don't want your family to be around that, because an innocent swing could go ahead and just get thrown off the rails, and then suddenly you're on the floor wondering why your nose is broken or something. It's ridiculous. And especially since, like I said, we're here kind of promoting geek culture and everything else, and right now we're in a beautiful spot. All geek fandoms are, okay? Right now, I get it. Geeks are passionate people. I mean, we have massive voices and massive opinions about a lot of things that are happening out there right now, and we have to be thankful for that. Because they've said the geeks will inherit the earth. It's in the Bible. Well, not that part, but still. We're at a point where it's okay to play Dungeons and Dragons. Is actually cool to wear a Marvel T-shirt. It is, it's such a turning point from maybe 15 years ago. And the whole reason why is because a lot of, these comic book movies and things like that have come out into the mainstream. And a lot of people have kind of let their walls down and said, hey, you know what? I'm part of this culture. It's cool to be part of this culture. And now more than ever, we have to appreciate that, because the more we criticize things, the more we bash things, the more things go away. So just keep that in mind. And, like I said, the cheer people at Pensacon, the people who kind of run everything, they kind of saw and understood, but at the same time they said, well, we're going to go ahead and put our foot down, because we don't want issues. Nobody wants issues at their event. Nobody wants other people threatening and saying, hey, listen, we're going to go ahead and create a humongous debacle. We're going to create a kerfuffle. And I'm trying to think of more words that don't normally get used in order to go ahead and do this. But I mean, I get it, and that's one thing that they were really passionate about, is making sure that, this became a fun environment for everybody, and those people that wanted to go ahead and protest could go ahead and do so in a safe environment where they weren't affecting the other people. I mean, every year that we've been to Pensacon, and we've been to Pensacon since its inception. All right, Chimichanga Talk has been there every single year in one form or another. And the one thing that we always see is we usually see, religious people out there kind of boycotting the convention. There's always like different things, and it doesn't even necessarily have to be about religion or anything else. But I'm just saying, like, this is what I see. They're standing out there with protest signs saying, hey, listen, you shouldn't kind of go here, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. And there's always people like that. It doesn't matter whether it's a comic convention or a rock concert. There's always going to be people outside kind of holding up signs wanting you not to participate in these kind of things because they think it's wrong. It's their opinion. That's fine. But they're keeping it outside. They're going ahead and kind of hitting that crowd as it's coming in, not just going ahead and going inside and then trying to start issues, which isn't right for anybody. So, overall, the atmosphere at Pensacon was great. The people were really hyped up. Everybody was really excited. I know that leading into it, it was kind of uncomfortable for a lot of people. There were a lot of questions to be asked, but as I said, every year there seems to be something going on. Every year there are a certain amount of people that are like, hey, why didn't you bring this person, or why didn't you do this, or why didn't you do that? And I think Pensacon, one of the great things that they've been doing is they've been doing a lot of these reunions for different things, and overall, I think they've put on a good show every single year. They tried their best, and they continue to do so. And like I said, I didn't go inside the Pensacola Bay Center for more than a few moments. And from what I was told, though, beyond the security, which the security measures, like I said, they took extra precaution just because of everything that led up to it. So, you have those trolls to thank for the additional security, but I mean, they were going to go ahead and be secure anyway. Pensacon always has. And it's one of those things where I understand you have to kind of give to get, right? So I know that they didn't allow strollers on the vendor floors and things like that, and they're always constantly moving the crowd along because it does get extremely crowded. I know that Pensacon every year, since about maybe the second or third year, or hell, it could have been as far as the first, has been asking specifically to go ahead and build a particular, like an actual convention center, so like a building that Pensacola can use to host such a convention and other great events in a convention hall. Something that is a lot more convenient for the guests, okay? Because I mean, it does generate a lot of money. It does bring in a lot of people, because you get these reunions that the Pensacon group puts together, getting together these amazing actors and actresses from all over and all walks of life. They try to go ahead and bring some amazing authors, artists, voiceover actors, movie actors. It's just absolutely amazing, the hodgepodge of people they kind of bring in there. And then they create these amazing panels and Q&A sessions that are like reunions for a lot of these people. They've done this for the last couple of years, and it's been absolutely amazing. It brings fans from everywhere, and to go ahead and seek out these opportunities. But the problem is the Pensacola Bay Center, which is where it's been held since its inception, is just not the building to go ahead and hold this, because I mean, it is a sports complex. So it's great for like hockey and maybe like concerts and things like that. But to hold a convention in, it loses its flavor because there's multiple layers of it. So basically, guests had to be split into like one floor. The vendors had to be split onto another floor. Their gaming and things like that. I mean, it's just unfortunate. It's an unfortunate layout, and they've been pushing the city to go ahead and kind of build something else, build this complex to help bring in more money, bring in more things. And they still haven't listened. So maybe that's something that you guys can do. Something that our listeners can do is go ahead and just kind of reach out to the Pensacola city managers, reach out to everybody that's out there, and just kind of let them know, hey, listen, Pensacola does need a convention center, an actual convention center that would go ahead and benefit Pensacon and everybody there. Because a lot of people, what they do complain about is like, hey, I get pushed along the vendor floor, hey, there's not enough room here, hey, and like basically Pensacon itself is with its hands tied, because there's only so many modifications you can do to an actual building that's been around for a long time. So what better thing to do than to go ahead and build a building that would benefit a lot of other people, because it won't be just Pensacon that it would benefit. It would benefit, big trade shows and things like that would come down here, because a convention center, if you look at it, is like a big laid out space. Okay, where everybody can go ahead and kind of enjoy things in a very linear fashion. Okay, you don't have to climb multiple steps and do all these other things. So it'd be easier to get in and out of. It'd be easier to go ahead and kind of create really nice layouts, so everybody can go ahead and enjoy all the different things, not be pushed into like different floors and things like that, and try to figure out exactly where everything is. So just as a heads up, it's something to go ahead and keep in mind, and it's something that I know Pensacon has been pushing year after year. So maybe this is the year that we go ahead and actively take a part, and like I said, go ahead and kind of keep tabs on the page, or even message Pensacon and say, hey, listen, where can I go ahead and drop a letter? Who can I call to help you guys out? Because until and trust me, your voice is heard. Okay, they understand that there were security issues, there were slowdowns. They understand all these other things, because all that feedback comes back to them. They know. Okay, it's not like your voice is lost in the ether. So go out there and kind of reach that. And another thing about Pensacon is that I know people will have opinions and questions about everything and the way they do things. I give a big round of applause to everybody that's out there, plus the volunteers that are out there, absolutely friendly, wonderful people who try to do the best for everyone that's going to go ahead and attend. Why? Because, the whole reason they're volunteering is because they get to participate in this. And not only that, but then they're also allowed to go ahead and enjoy the con. I mean, it's kind of a tit for tat, right? Yeah, they're there to go ahead and make sure that you enjoy your safe and wonderful experience. For later, they can go ahead and enjoy a safe and wonderful experience as well. So, whenever you look at these people that are volunteers and stuff like that, they are giving up their time for something that they love as much as you do. And they're, working to go ahead and create a wonderful experience. And sometimes, that could dwell on anybody. It's just like any other job. But, hopefully we can all kind of gather together and kind of just harness our whole one voice and reach out to Pensacola and say, hey, listen, they really need a convention center. It's something that they've been pushing for a long time. But overall, I just want to say that Pensacon 2019 was an absolutely amazing thrill ride. It was absolutely wonderful for us here at Chimichanga Talk. We do appreciate each and every one of our fans who came out and see us. We understand that the weather was an issue, whether it was too foggy, too hot, or too windy. You guys came out and had a good time, just like we did, and I really do appreciate that. And something else that I kind of just want to toss out there is that, follow up, obviously, Pensacon's page. Be open to some of the stuff that they put together. And remember, like I said, they're trying to reach fandoms of every genre, from every walk of life that they can, to go ahead and create this amazing experience for you guys. So you have to kind of hand it for them. I mean, you had everything from, William Shatner, coming out there. And I mean, William Shatner, huge name, to come out here. Not only that, but you had, that big Indiana Jones reunion. And on top of that, you had like a Pinky and the Brain reunion, which was fantastic. So if you were an Animaniacs fan, child of the 90s cartoons, that was absolutely wonderful. Not only that, but you had like a couple artists from Ren and Stimpy and stuff like that. So it was overall such a wonderful experience. If you didn't get a chance to experience it, definitely write it in. It happens, every February. And they've already announced some big names for next year, for 2020, including a D&D animated series reunion for the voiceover actors, as well as for wrestling, Booker T. So five-time world champions are going to be there. So that's just an amazing start to what will be another 365 days that we're going to have to wait to go ahead and enjoy another version of Pensacon. So guys, this one's kind of a short and sweet little podcast episode. Like I said, we want to try to get some more content out there. We're slowly building our guests up and things like that, because we want to go ahead and create that user experience. It's been a while since we've been on the mic, and I do apologize. A lot of love goes out to all of our fans and people that are constantly visiting us at these conventions. We thank you guys so much. And remember, as always, we're here under any kind of social media. Reach out to us. If there's a particular guest that you want us to interview or somebody that you want to go ahead and talk with, let us know. If you are a comic book artist, or if you're trying to put together your independent project or your independent movie, let us know, man. We'd love to go ahead and have you on, and let's talk shop, because that's what we do. We always have a good time, and we're always about pushing the indie scene. Basically, if you're out there doing what you do and you love what you do and you want more people to love what you do, reach out to us, man. We're always here. And you can always reach us also on email through chimichangatalk.com. Actually, chimichangatalk@gmail.com. Well, there you go. But you can go ahead and reach us out on our webpage at chimichangatalk.com. Like I said, we're restructuring the whole website, so it's a work in progress. Because I'm the web builder, editor, this, that, and everything, all in one. So it gets a little difficult, and time can be a precious commodity when you work as hard as we do. But still, we'd love to hear from you. So remember, anywhere that you go, Chimichanga Talk, you can find us either Facebook or Instagram. Also on Twitter, I'm under at Deadpool Speaks. So go ahead and drop us a line. We'd love to hear from you. And follow our Twitch channel as well, Chimichanga Talk, on YouTube as well. So youtube.com/Chimichanga Talk. And we'd love to hear from you guys. So guys, I am Deadpool Speaks. And unfortunately, Dr. Evilbeard and Rhodey Batman could not be here today. They're both also recovering from convention crud or whatever you call it. So we're all kind of just trying to get back in the swing of things. But guys, we love each and every one of you. Remember, go ahead and reach out. If you were there at Pensacon 2019, make sure to thank them all because they did go ahead and put together an amazing show for us. And guys, we hope to see you again at Pensacon 2019. For right now, there's no reported appearances for us, but like I said, we're going to go ahead and put together some more shows for you and things like that, so that way we can come back strong, but with a lot of love. I am Deadpool Speaks, and for the time being, I'm out.